Hi, welcome to the Time Treadmill. I'm Ron, and these are my sweaty thoughts about Doctor Who. Now, I will be absolutely honest, I am not a fan of the Daleks, mostly because I am sick to death of them. They were grossly overused throughout the classic era and well into the modern era. And they definitely fall into a pattern of, how can I possibly miss you if you won't go away, you know? But in the winter of 1963, Doctor Who was on the verge of cancellation. The Caveman story had poor viewership, BBC management was ready to kill the show, and producer Verity Lambert begged for just a few more weeks. Let them run this second story. It was Terry Nation's original Dalek story. And holy cow, is it fantastic. You just don't get this kind of story anymore with this kind of pacing. Terry Nation created this dark, moody, slow burner of a story with a very slow reveal. The entire first episode, you have no idea what's going on. All you know is they are stranded on an alien planet with a petrified forest covered in radiation, and there's a strange alien city that seems to be uninhabited. And then in the very last frame, you get the first appearance of the Daleks, and it is fantastic. Barbara Wright screaming in terror, and all you see is one Dalek sucker arm reaching towards her. It was the perfect cliffhanger. That was December 21st of 1963, and viewers had to wait 7 whole days, wait until after Christmas, to find out what the Daleks actually looked like. And holy cow, they were fantastic. There had never been any kind of a monster like this before. These pepper pot tanks with a sucker arm and a ray gun arm and this just horrifying robotic voice, and it was just fantastic. And then you add to the backdrop of that, you have all of our lead characters are slowly dying from radiation poisoning. And by the end of the second episode, Susan, who's only 15, has been sent off to go back to the TARDIS to find the medication they all need to survive. And it's just, oh, the drama. I love it. I love this story so much. Now, I have to say, despite the fact that Terry Nation absolutely saved the show, and we would not have a Doctor Who today if it were not for his writing, I am grateful that his style of writing didn't dominate the show going forward. I love Terry Nation to pieces. I think Blake Seven is brilliant, but Terry Nation's writing sensibilities tend to be very dark and bleak and just defeatist, which makes for great storytelling, but is not what Doctor Who is all about. That being said, this is still a fantastic story. Now, it's hard for US audiences to realize how huge a phenomenon the Daleks were in the UK in the 1960s and 70s. I mean, they were everywhere. It was marketing gold. And yet here in America, no one had ever heard of them. But I have to tell you my Dalek story. Back in October of 1978, when I was 10 years old, I had only just discovered Doctor Who. The only reason I knew about the show was because of Pinnacle Books. They had just published 6 novels that were American imports of the Target novelization series. And I read those books, and oh my God, I loved them. I loved them. And the very first one I read was Day of the Daleks. And I was just fascinated. There was a Dalek on the cover, and it was just an incredible image. So here I was, 10 years old, 1978, October, and my small town had a competition where children got to decorate the storefronts of windows throughout town, paint up the windows with poster paint with a Halloween message. And it was a contest in the winner, I forget, won a gift basket or something. And everyone else was doing, witches and bats and all that kind of stuff. And I painted this window of a giant 7-foot-tall Dalek with his laser gun and a sucker arm pointing out and shouting, "Exterminate." And then the caption was, "Doctor Who and the Daleks wish you a happy Halloween." I then proceeded to spend the entire day of the contest trying to explain to people what Daleks were and what Doctor Who was and nobody got it. Nobody understood. Needless to say, I did not win the contest. But that was an indelible part of my childhood. The Daleks, as much as I am tired of them now, the Daleks then, when they were as fresh for me then as they were for viewers in 1963 when this episode, just undeniable power. Oh my God, I love this story. So tomorrow is episodes 3 and 4 of the Daleks. It's the first appearance of the Thalls. And if I remember right, I think Barbara gets a little something something from one of the Thalls. It's gonna be great, so be sure and tune in tomorrow. I will see you then.